Welcome back, guys. This is the AMG Puddle Light install video. I'm going to show you guys step by step on how to install the Puddle Light on both the driver and passenger side. I know this is a little bit of a complex install for a lot of people because it does require modifying some of the inside of the mirror cap. That's just the only way to install it with the aftermarket light and how it's kind of made, which you'll see when I show you guys the difference between the OEM Puddle Light and the aftermarket one. But with that being said, so if you have a 360 camera, there will be an extra step that is required to remove the light. And if you don't have a 360 camera, it'll be a little bit easier, but you will have to install a resistor so your light doesn't flicker after you've installed it. So I'll show you guys how to break it down and install it, and show you what you'll have to modify in order for it to fit on the passenger side. The driver's side goes in pretty easy. Before I had filmed this, I went ahead and did it because I wanted to make sure I could do it. So with the hassle of what it was, I didn't go ahead and take it back out so I could show you guys. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do the passenger side, which is the more difficult and harder side. So if you guys can do that side, and if I show you guys how to do that, you'll be able to do the driver's side as well. So here's the difference between the stock OEM Puddle Light, which is just a light. This is what it looks like. It's a little bit more heavier and it feels a lot more well built. But this is the replacement one. It's a lot lighter, and it has the Mercedes AMG logo as well as the racing stripe that goes down the side. So yeah, that's the difference. And also this is a little bit more bulkier than the OEM, which also makes it a little bit tighter to fit in there. So I can see how a lot of people have been having trouble fitting this piece in there. And then also you'll need these two tools. You'll need a plastic trim remover tool, and you'll also need a Torx T10 bit, but I'm using a Allen key. I don't recommend using the wrong or incorrect tools, but I don't feel like buying a T10 Torx bit just for this, so I'm just going to use that. So yeah, those are the tools and things that you'll need, and we'll get to removing the mirror cap on the passenger side. Alright, so on this side, and just like on the driver's side, what you'll have to do is take the plastic trim remover piece and then go right underneath here and just push it in. We'll probably want to hit it right around here, here, and then here, and that will help pry off the clips. And this thing is just clipped on, so I'll show you guys how to do that right now. So typically before you take this off, you know, it'll be connected right here with this plug, but I guess it either slipped off while I was taking it out or it just popped out. But yeah, so that's the carbon fiber mirror cap. Alright, so now that we got the mirror cap off, you'll have about 3 plugs that you'll have to unplug. You have to unplug this one from the cap. That is your signal light. Then you'll have to disconnect these two, which is connecting your puddle light to the power source. And then you'll have to disconnect the camera, which is right here. But in order to do that, you got to remove this screw right there, and then that screw. There's another one over there. But you have to take this shield off. And this shield is taken off by a screw that's right there, which you'll have to remove the mirror. We'll have to pop this off, which I'll show you guys how to do that next. And then you can get to that screw from the back. And then there's another screw. It's a little difficult. There's another screw right here that holds this shield up. So there's 2 screws on the shield, and then there's another 2 for the camera that goes right here that you'll have to remove. Next, what we'll do is take off the mirror, and you want to be real careful about this because there's plugs and soldered electrical lines to the glass. So when it pops off, you want to make sure that it's still in contact, and you want to like put it off to the side where it hangs, not so there's any tension on the wire. You also want to make sure that your key is inside the car, because my car wants to lock itself after a couple seconds, unless you have that setting off or not. But yeah, you want to make sure the key's in there so then the mirror doesn't close and then crush your glass. You want to take the wedge tool and you want to get behind the mirror and prop it off. And it's just held on by some clips. Alright, so you want to leave your mirror hanging like that. And then the next screw is going to be, I wish I had a flashlight. Oh, I do. Alright, so the next screw is going to be right there in that corner. The one on the driver's side is actually in the middle right there, but this one, it's over there to the left. So we'll have to get that screw to be able to remove the shield, and that takes a T10, or what I'm using is a Allen key. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew that screw. And so that's all you have to do for the inside. Once you get the mirror off, you can get that unscrewed, and then you're able to start moving the shield, but then we'll have to go around to the back side and unscrew the other screw, which I'll show you guys next. Alright, so this is a little difficult, but the next screw is right here. That's where the last screw is. There it is, it's focusing. Yeah, so the last screw is right there to be able to take off this shield, which will then give you access to take the camera off and then get down there to remove the puddle light. Alright, so now I got both of the screws removed, and now this should be able to just wiggle out. You do have to kind of unclip it from right there. It is kind of clipped, so but this will be free to move out. The shield removed. Now you can't completely remove it off because there is a wire attached to it, so when you do get it fully unscrewed and you're trying to get it off its hinge right there, you want to make sure you don't pull it too tight, otherwise then you'll rip that wire out. So just get it unhooked and get it loose like this so that you can now access that screw down there to remove the 360 camera if you have it, and then that screw right there as well. And you want to take this plug and take that out and take this plug out so you can get down there. So that's what I'm about to do next, to remove the camera and then get down to the puddle light down there. Alright, so these are the two screws you have to remove to take off the 360 camera if you have it. If you don't, then you probably will have to skip this step and it'll be a lot more easier for you. And you don't have to take off this, and you don't have to take off the mirror, but if you do have a 360 camera, this mirror will have to get This camera will have to get moved. Alright, so now that we got those two screws unscrewed for the 360 camera, you can just unclip the plug and then it'll pop right out. Alright, so now that we got the 360 camera out the way, what we'll have to do is take out the old puddle light, which is right here. There'll just be some clips that you got to pin off, and then it'll pop right out. Alright, so yeah, that took a while to get out. It is very packed, and it's not very hard, but it's because this piece right here is like not lined up to where you can easily, you know, pull this out. So that's why it took a lot of twisting and bending, and I did snap this part, which it will be okay, and then the pin down here is obviously bent, so that won't really snap into place, but we'll see. If it wiggles around, I'll just tape it or put some glue on it so it'll stay in. But yeah, that is the passenger side. It is the same process, but it is difficult just because of that piece right there that's not very well aligned to allow you to take that piece out. So you want to make sure that when you install this, you install the right facing that way. So these lights will not fit unless you modify this right here. It will not fit because there is a notch right there that won't allow this to sit in flush, because this goes in like this, so it's getting caught right there and then it won't sit in there properly. Alright, so I'm gonna have to take a Dremel tool and kind of cut down some of this plastic here to allow it to fit. So I know at this point a lot of people are probably gonna say screw this, but I'm pretty persistent on having these puddle lights because I really want them. So if you see that little notch right there in the middle, that's what's stopping the puddle light from getting in, because if you can see right there, it slopes down, which is stopping the light from sitting in properly. So that's what I'm going to cut off. It is a Dremel tool with a plastic or wood saw on it. Alright, so if you can kind of see that I trimmed that notch off a little bit to allow some room for the puddle light to sit in there and fit. Alright guys, so the light is in. It actually fits, so I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff back together. This is nothing special, so I'm going to just probably speed through all this stuff, but just make sure you put all your screws in. This is the clip that broke that snaps the light in or holds it in place, but it looks like it's pretty well in there, so I'm going to just cross my fingers and hope that it stays. If not, then I'll just take off the cap and just tape it down, but it works. I tested it. The light works and everything, so it wasn't damaged, so I'm just going to go ahead and put all this stuff back and get it all put together. light is plugged up, and then your power to the mirror is plugged in. That's all good to go. Slap the mirror back in. All you gotta do is just push that part back in and clip it. You'll see some clips coming around. That's all in. And then you want to come back around and you want to take this, make sure this is plugged back into your turn signal, otherwise that won't go on. And it's as easy as just plugging that back in. And there you go. Just make sure everything's plugged in, all the screws are in. So I got the puddle lights installed on both sides now, so I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to lock the car and we'll see how the puddle lights shine on the floor. Car again, there you go. Okay, so that's the light back up. It does actually show up on the rear view camera when you're backing up or when you're looking at the 360 camera, so the coding is for that as well, so I think that's pretty cool. It adds a little touch, but that is the passenger side. And let's go inside and show you guys on the camera that it actually shows up and is coded. Alright, so we are inside the car. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and then I'll show you guys that the camera is picking up the puddle light as well. So we'll turn on the 360 camera. And there you go. You can see that the car does recognize that those puddle lights are installed, and it shows up on the camera too, so that is pretty cool. Yeah, this install was totally worth it, even though it was a lot more than I expected. Again, there's not many people, there isn't anyone on YouTube who has this install, so I'm actually glad I could do it for you guys and show you guys for anyone that's interested in doing it. But yeah, so you can even see, even on the side view mirror, that the puddle lights are there on the ground. Yeah guys, that was the install of the AMG lights. Like, comment, subscribe, help this video get out to more people who are looking to get this light installed in their C63s or any other AMG. They're all the same, so you could install this in the GLE, GLS, or S-Class. They should all take the same light in the mirror, as long as they're within that same generation.